Welcome back to Boomer's Playground, and today we'll be going over coding exercise 24 from the Colt Steele Web Developer Bootcamp on Udemy. So this one's going to be about logical and in big key or big capital words or letters, so this should be a hint, especially after your previous video, but logical and mystery exercise. So they've provided you with a conditional statement. It uses this variable called mystery. That's the only thing they want you to change, and they want you got it to be printed. So we have this really big if statement. Let's actually break this up and let's jump into JS bin. You guys know how I like my bin. All right. So the and and the or operator are something that you will use a lot. When you're using the and or the or operator, you really have to think the whole thing through because there's a lot of different, like everything has to match. So we have and, this is called the logical and operator, and it will be true if and only if all the operands are true. So what that means is, in this instance, we have the and sign. We have the and sign here. So what this means is every single thing has to be true. And we'll go into, there's an or operator where you can make it where not everything has to be true. But in this instance, everything must be true. So if we were to just, if true and true. Hold on, sorry. New mechanical keyboard, guys. Having trouble with it. Alright, and then here we can just do they all true. Alright, so this should work. Oh, why are these not saved? There we go. Okay, so, and the reason is because they're all true. Now, as soon as I set one to not be true, you'll see that it doesn't fire, and we can even just do an else to make sure. And so you'll see some line. So again, the whole point of this is everything you need, everything in between all of these ands needs to be true. And you could really, I'm sure there might be some sort of limit. I'm not familiar with what it is, but you could really chain, a bunch of ands together, pretty much as many as you want. But one thing to keep in mind is code readability, so you really don't want to. But, all right, let's think this one through. So we need all three of these things to end up being true. So, all right. Mystery at 0. So, you might look at this and you're like, okay, well, that's an array. But also remember with strings, we can target the individual elements by index. It doesn't have to be an array. And even since in the instructions, they started us with an empty string, I'm going to assume they want a string. Yeah, it doesn't really say, but because there's an empty string here, I'm just going to assume that's what they want us to keep it as. So we want the 0th index, which I'm not sure if you guys recall or not, but the 0th index will always be the first, so let's just do it. I spelled const wrong. So we got, let's do B. So A of 0 is going to be, if I can type right, A of 0 is going to be B because it's the first index of this string. So we need that to be a capital P. So maybe we could just start with that. And then what's going to be the next thing is we need the length of it to be greater than 5. And so remember, Dot length gives us the human readable number, not necessarily the index or indices, or I'm not even sure. But so let's just do B, and we'll do Madison. So what is that? 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7. So length should give us 7. Perfect. But again, remember that's the human readable. There's actually no 7th index because we start counting at 0. So I just wanted to, I like to really drive that home because these are, when you do like coding challenges for job interviews, a lot of people will have you loop over something, and this is an area where you could get a one-off error. And it's not usually like a huge deal, but you know, if you can not do that in an interview, it usually helps you out. So, all right, so we know that we need to make it larger than 5. So P. Maybe we can just do the Packers again. I'm originally from Wisconsin, so let's see. What we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that should count that. So now we should be 7, and we can even mess around, and let's just do string. We'll do Packers, and so is string 0 capital P? It sure is. It's the length. It's 7. Okay, so this one is true. This one is true. So now we just need index of the number 7 cannot be -1. I'm not sure. If you guys know what to do, yell through the screen and help me out, but I don't quite recall. So let's go check out what index, was it index of? What was it? Yeah, index of. All right. Index of. Yeah, we'll do index of, yes. And we have that right there. All right, the index of method returns the first index at which a given element can be found in the array. Or -1 if it's not present. Okay. So this is saying it can't be -1. Well, the only way we're going to get -1 is if the element's not in the array, or in our instance, the string. So I'm thinking this is just checking if there's a 7 in our string. So still able to get still Packers. So let's see, we got index of, and we'll do the number 7. Okay, and we get, oh, sorry, I actually got an extra. I don't think this matters, but okay, so we're still getting a -1. So that will not pass this part. That will make this false, and that will make it, again, that'll make it so this doesn't run. And again, we can even, just to prove, because sometimes this JS bin isn't saving what I want. All right. They are all true. And again, you'll see, I can never tell if it's because of my key bindings or what. Okay, so you can see here, one of these 3 is not true, or at least one of these 3. So as long as one of them's not true, we're going to get this. So I think it's the 7 one. We just figured out that it's checking where 7 is, which we don't have a number 7 in here. It looks like it doesn't care where in here. It just cares that it's in there. So let's do A1, and we'll do Packers 7. Oh, God, so it keeps falling. Sorry, I got this new mechanical keyboard and still kind of figuring it out. It's taking a teeny tiny bit of time to get used to, so, all right. Okay, cool, so we have A1, it's Packers with a number 7, well, the string of a number 7 at the end. So let's see if all these things match. So sorry, A1 of 0, capital P, so that's true. A1 dot length is 8 now, so that's still bigger than 5. And we'll do a1.index of, and we'll do 7. And we get 7. And so I do, let's do b1 equals p7 errors. And I just want to do this for the sole purpose of showing the index of gives you the index where that 7 is. That one was just kind of confusing because 7 was on the 7th location. So now you'll see it's in the first or the 1th, which is actually the 2nd spot, because again, remember, when we're doing indexes, we start counting at 0. So I think that should satisfy the test. So let's run it, and we can actually get rid of, well, actually, we want to run it in here. So let's do Packers 7. Let's see what we get. And awesome. So we've gotten that one done. This is something you'll see a lot. You'll see a lot of the ands. Looks like the next video is going to be the or. Looks like we're not having an exercise over that. But the ors do a similar thing, except they do an or statement. So like, let's say for this instance, it needed to have a capital P. It needed to be longer than 5. But the 7 we really didn't care about. So what you could do is we could have done an or. And so these two things have to be true because we have this and operator there. This or says, we really don't care. Like, this can be true or false, doesn't really matter. But you'll see that in the next video. I just wanted to share that because it doesn't look like there's an exercise for it. So I hope you guys learned something today. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next exercise.